What's happening, beautiful people? Welcome back to another live stream right here on Cassius Morris Official. Quick change of plans for tonight's stream. I know I told you guys I was going to do an IRL stream here in Malaysia, but that would have required that I go buy a new cell plan. And guys, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I think I'm ready to get out of this city, get out of this country. Nothing personal. Kuala Lumpur is a beautiful city. Visually, it's absolutely stunning. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. I don't think I'm vibing with it over here in Malaysia. I found the people this past week to be overwhelmingly unfriendly. The country is very strict. I feel like I have no personal freedom. There's actually Sharia law here, which is something I didn't know about. The police are pretty corrupt, and I don't know. I'm just not really vibing with it. I was ambushed by 4 police officers last night and questioned for walking down the street, which I guess is not allowed past 2 in the morning. I do my content at night. I walk to the convenience store. I have 4 cops pull up on me. They're questioning me, asking me if I'm an illegal immigrant, going through my stuff. They're scolding me for having a condom in my wallet. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on here, guys, but I'm not vibing with this at all. So I'm not going to, attribute this to the entire country of Malaysia, but this city's not my vibe, and I think it's going to be time to go to other places. So we're back with another desktop stream, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at some shocking video coming from the World Economic Forum over in Davos of Justin Trudeau laughing in the faces of people who were telling him that they have lost family members, and they know of people who've lost family members due to his pandemic mandates. Now, this entire story is blowing up, and the reason he's being questioned about this is actually because of a brand new court ruling which just happened in Canada. So we're going to break down everything you guys need to know. Real quick before we jump in, make sure to hit that like and hit that subscribe button. And if you've been enjoying the streams live every single day, make sure to hit that join button to become a channel member. That's the ultimate way for you guys to support the streams. So Justin Trudeau is currently back in the spotlight after being asked to speak, as I mentioned before, at the World Economic Forum. The convention of great people, all good people who go to speak there. You know they got to be a real upstanding leader if they're invited to speak at this event. And the reason this whole pandemic thing is coming back up is because the Canadian federal government just lost their appeal over using the Emergencies Act during the 2022 Freedom Convoy protests. So a little bit of context before we jump in. For anybody who's not aware of the Emergencies Act, this is actually an act that was used by the Canadian government to stop the 2022 protests about the pandemic. So what exactly is the Emergencies Act? Well, this is a provision that was actually put in place to give the Canadian government sweeping power, essentially the Canadian equivalent of martial law. And this is meant to be used as a last resort tactic when normal laws are not enough. So during the 2022 Freedom Convoy protests, the Emergencies Act was used by the Canadian government to freeze bank accounts, ban public assemblies, and expand police powers, essentially creating martial law. And when I say freeze bank accounts, this is legitimate. They actually froze the bank accounts, not only of protesters, but of actual people who were suspected of supporting the protests or maybe being involved peripherally as well. So there was an entire case that was launched here, and a federal court ruled that invoking the Emergencies Act was unreasonable and unlawful under the circumstances in 2022. Now, the Canadian government decided to appeal and try to overturn this decision, and it was just announced the other day that their appeal was denied and it's failed, meaning that the court has upheld the ruling against the government, saying you guys did way too much, you abused your power, and you had no legal right to actually do this to your citizens with all of these mandates. So there's the context you guys need to know, and this is why Trudeau is being questioned about the pandemic in 2026. I feel like a lot of people might have been confused. So let's take a look at this first video clip. We have a couple of clips to play. This one is from Vox Populi on YouTube. Shout out to these guys doing great reporting over in Davos, trying to hold our leaders accountable. We're going to play the clips. We're going to break them down. And I can also give you guys a lot of inside information because I actually lived through these protests in Canada. So let's run it right now. The first clip of Trudeau laughing in the faces of Canadians who lost loved ones due to his mandates. Let's take a listen. Hang on a second. It looks like the video might have froze up. Let's make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing here. Hang on a second. Do we have to reboot? Don't tell me we have to reboot. Bro, you gotta be kidding me. Let's try it again. I'm gonna remove the screen capture. We are live, folks. So look, this tells you that we are actually live. This is not a pre-recorded thing. Okay, we got the screen capture back. Let's try to run this again. Like Bill O'Reilly said, fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live and direct.
Human rights of those who didn't want to get vaccinated. Yet some people have died as a result of this. Is that really a smirking matter?
Why you push the Canada to vaccinate the people?
Pushing disinformation the way you have.
What is disinformation?
Irresponsible.
What, that people have died?
People in Canada to vaccinate.
I'm sorry, but that's
the COVID vaccine.
But that's not misinformation. My old cameraman's mother actually.
And you pushed them into jail.
My old cameraman's mother actually died after complications from the COVID vaccine. So is that misinformation? Oh, now you're laughing.
Now, I want to play this again because we were adjusting it, but Trudeau literally turning to his buddy and laughing after hearing that this guy's cameraman's mother died after complications from the vaccine. Let's just run it back from the beginning to make sure we're getting a good idea of this here.
Human rights of those who didn't want to get vaccinated. Yet some people have died as a result of this. Is that really a smirking matter?
Why you push the Canada to vaccinate the people?
Pushing disinformation the way you have.
What is disinformation?
Irresponsible.
What, that people have died?
People in Canada to vaccinate.
I'm sorry, but that's
the COVID vaccine.
But that's not misinformation. My old cameraman's mother actually.
And you pushed them into jail.
My old cameraman's mother actually died after complications from the COVID vaccine. So is that misinformation? Oh, now you're laughing.
Wow.
Mr. Trudeau, could I ask you?
Absolutely shocking. Looking at his comrade and laughing. And who the hell is this guy, by the way? Why does he get such a kick out of this? These two seem really happy that this guy's friend's mother died.
After complications from the COVID vaccine. So is that misinformation? Oh, now you're laughing.
I don't even know where to start. I mean, look, guys, as a Canadian watching this, this absolutely boils my blood, but I can't even say I'm surprised. Look, when you've looked at Trudeau's track record, when you actually take a look at the way he's decided to conduct himself ever since the pandemic, there's zero accountability, but also he has this smugness about him because he seems to still feel like he's vindicated and still feel like he's right, even though federal courts are ruling that he completely abused his power. But the thing about Trudeau is he doesn't seem to actually care. Let's take a look at some more of this video where this reporter, and I gotta hand it to this reporter, he did a great job, tried his best to get some answers about what happened here.
Come on, it's the spirit of dialogue is the theme of the WEF this year. Well, given that we now know that the lockdown measures in Canada were wrong, do you want to take the opportunity to at least admit that and say sorry to those who were affected? Come on, it's okay to get things wrong as long as, like I said to Tony Blair, it's okay to get things wrong as long as you admit as such when you get the opportunity. Like, do you not want to take that opportunity? Because not speaking kind of speaks volumes. Or I could maybe frame it. Ignore my question.
Deliberate choice to not talk to you.
Deliberate choice.
The smugness is just absolutely sickening. A man walking around with blood on his hands, just happy as can be. Never seen anything like this.
Why not? Why don't you want to talk to a free press? Okay, how about ignore this question if your lockdown measures were authoritarian and wrong?
I like this reporter. I like this guy.
No, nothing?
Mr. Trudeau, why are you pushing LGBTQ so hard?
By the way, what is it about Davos that makes all these politicians walk so far? You always see like Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, now Trudeau. Whenever they go to the World Economic Forum, they're always walking to their destination, and I've always wondered, why are they walking? Why are they not in a vehicle? Seems like a super dangerous situation, and also, like, this could all be completely avoidable. I mean, if you don't want to talk to the press, why don't you just take a car?
We don't believe in traditional values.
Fundamental human rights.
And traditional values, creation of God,
Is it
man
fundamental
and
human
woman.
rights that they lock people up?
The Bible
So he cares
says-
about the human rights of LGBT. I don't know if you guys caught that part. The other reporter there asked him why he's so hard on, or he goes so hard on the LGBTQ stuff in Canada. He answers that it's a fundamental human right. That's pretty rich when we're here talking about the mandates and all the people you've had killed.
We don't
He
believe
doesn't
in
seem to care about their human rights.
traditional values.
Fundamental human rights.
And traditional values, creation of God,
Is it
man
fundamental
and
human
woman.
rights that they lock people up?
The Bible says He created the humans as man and woman. What are you thinking about that? Man and woman.
You wanted to ban the unvaccinated from public transport. Do you accept that that was a wrong call?
Do you believe in the Bible or not?
No.
And by the way, guys, unvaccinated people were banned from everything. I did not take the vaccine, and I want to make it clear, I'm not an anti-vaxxer because by definition, anti-vax means you're against the use of vaccines. I am not against the use of vaccines. I think every person who wants to get any vaccine should be able to get it and have the freedom to get it. But at that same token, I think anybody who doesn't want it should have the freedom to refuse it. And what happened in Canada is we were not given that right. Look, I decided not to take it. My entire family took it. My family went to movies without me. I was a bit younger at the time. I was living at home. Family went to movies without me, went on trips without me, went on planes without me. I was virtually banned from going anywhere in the country. I couldn't even enter a shopping mall food court for a long period of time without a vaccine passport. So for anybody who was outside of Canada during this time, maybe it sounds exaggerated. Maybe you might think we're being over the top. If anything, it's being understated, the level of control this man had over us to take these poisonous chemicals, which were not properly researched or vetted, and now have left people with serious complications.
Do you think there's a creator who will judge you after death? Can you sleep at night? Or are you worried about what is coming about you?
See, I applaud this guy, but the thing is, I think Trudeau can sleep fine. See, in order to be up at night lacking sleep, that would require having a conscience about said issue. So while I admire this dude trying to say, look, how do you sleep at night? Are you worried about your judgment day? Something we potentially all have coming. That the issue is that you're trying to appeal to his sensibilities of empathy. You're trying to appeal to his human sensibilities, of which he has none. And that's the thing about these politicians. They have no trouble sleeping at night because they genuinely do not care about anybody but themselves.
About you.
My cameraman producer makes a good point there that you mentioned LGBT rights are fundamental human rights, but you could argue fundamental human rights means living in a free, civilized society without having to get vaccinated against your choice. Do you not think what you said then is contradictory?
Absolutely.
The family is the most important part of society. Why you want to destroy that?
Justin, you started smirking then when I asked you a question about how the fundamental human rights of those who didn't want to get vaccinated. Yet some people have died as a result of this. Is that really a smirking matter?
Why you pushed in Canada to vaccinate the
Pushing
people?
disinformation the way you have.
What is
actually
disinformation?
Irresponsible.
So here Trudeau calls people dying off of the vaccines disinformation, which is even more shocking. So now not only does he laugh in the faces of people who've lost family members, people who've actually had complications themselves, now he wants to gaslight us and tell us that said issue didn't actually happen. So it's now not only did the people not die, is it not an issue for the people who died, but they actually didn't die from it. It's disinformation, apparently. So all those dead bodies, all of those coffins, all those obituaries, I guess, are fake too. See, if it's disinformation, why are the people dead?
People have died.
People in Canada to vaccinate.
I'm sorry, but
The COVID vaccine.
but that's not misinformation. My old cameraman's
They
mother
want to
actually.
free them and you pushed them into jail.
My old cameraman's
Also,
mother
Pastor Artur
actually
Pawlowski.
died after complications from the COVID vaccine. So is that misinformation? Oh, now you're laughing.
And he laughs. He and his buddy bust out laughing. Honestly, this is Whew, this is so disgusting. It's so disgusting. And this guy is really something else. And look, it could be said that he has a leg to stand on if the federal government was actually siding with him. But as we open this stream with, for anybody who's just joining, the federal government has ruled that Trudeau was completely overreaching with his vaccine mandates and the fact that he invoked the Emergencies Act completely unprovoked. So, you know, you could say that government acted correctly and maybe people have the right to disagree. This would maybe give Trudeau a leg to stand on if that was the case. But it's been investigated. It's been ruled that the Canadian government was acting out of order. They were acting outside of the law by pushing these mandates on people. It has been proven. It has been documented. So this really gives him not a leg to stand on. And really, I think the only reason he can sit here and laugh at this is because he's not in office anymore.
Hey, my friend.
I'm Troy.
What's the danger of the COVID vaccine? You forced your people to take the vaccine.
Complications from the COVID. Cameraman's mother actually died after complications from the COVID vaccine. So is that missing?
Apologies, guys. Let's go right back to where we started. Make sure to smash that like, by the way. We're bringing you guys all the latest stories. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to X out of that.
Want to get vaccinated?
My friend.
I'm Troy. My old cameraman's mother actually.
Them and you pushed them into jail.
My old cameraman's mother actually died after complications from the COVID vaccine. So is that misinformation? Oh, now you're laughing.
Hilarious.
My friend.
I'm Troy.
What's the danger of the COVID vaccine? You forced your people to take the vaccine. Can you sleep good? With that on your shoulder?
So you can actually tell that the journalists here on the left, look at the expression on this guy's face. I mean, this guy is absolutely shocked. I don't think even he expected this level of, you know, flippant attitude from the former prime minister, and it really is shocking. You know, I can understand if you don't agree with these reporters or you feel like you're right and they're wrong, but as a civilized human being, the least you could say is, I'm sorry that you lost this person. He doesn't even have it in him to say that. You don't have to agree with the people that are confronting you. You can think they're annoying and you wish they could go away, that, you know, you wish they would stop asking you questions, but for anybody, for any reason, to laugh in the face of somebody who's talking about losing people, not to mention all the people who aren't there to speak up, who did lose people, who have complications from the vaccines, who had myocarditis from the vaccines. I had a family member who had to go to the doctors and almost was checked into the hospital because of heart issues from the vaccines. The least you could say is, I'm sorry to hear that. But he's not.
People to take the vaccine. Can you sleep good? With that on your shoulders? Many people died because of the vaccine.
Yeah, but he should.
Can you tell?
No, but he should talk. Why do you want to back this up? But do you not feel uncomfortable, like, protecting this man from questions after the things that he's done?
You're looking for a story.
I'm not looking for a story. No, I'm not looking for a story. I'm wanting him just to answer questions that ordinary, everyday people want answering. And you're actually trying to stop me from doing that.
You happy to take the...
Does it not make you feel uncomfortable? Do you? I'm not creating a story. What story am I creating?
I see a comment in the chat from Nathaniel. He says, what does he say? He says, in the U.S., there's no way that an ex-president would be walking around in public like that without a swarm of security service personnel surrounding them. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because, look, there's no reason to have him out in public like this. And, you know, it could be said that the journalists are looking for a story. I think it could also be said, though, that these politicians are looking for trouble by walking around like this. Because, look, Trump was here at the World Economic Forum today. He's not walking around. It's not like they have to take a footpath, so I'm very confused as to why they have him out in public like this. It could actually become a very dangerous situation.
Do I'm not creating a story. What story am I creating? I'm asking questions.
I'm saying that I'm trying to stop you.
Well, no, I'm saying.
I said he doesn't want to talk to you, so don't put words in my mouth.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I accept that. But why? My point is, why are you trying to stand in the way of us? Why are you trying to stop me from asking these questions? Why do you not want me to?
The security guard's like, look, dude, I'm just here to get paid. I actually respect the security guard. He goes, I'm not trying to stop you from asking. I just told you he doesn't want to talk. But I could never do this. I don't know. Could you guys do this? Could you guys be paid to defend a guy like Trudeau? Be his bodyguard? For me personally, I don't care how much money you're offering me. I could never protect a man like this.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I accept that. But why? My point is, why are you trying to stand in the way of us? Why are you trying to stop me from asking these questions? Why do you not want me to?
What about Pastor Artur Pawlowski? You put him
How
in
much do
jail.
they pay for this sort of? See, this is what the WEF is all about. The liberal elites, the ones who ruin your everyday life with the decisions they made that lie in their pockets. Yet when you ask them simple questions, they have no answer. Or sometimes they smirk. You talk about people who died as a result of what these people do, and they smirk. This is what our democracy
Are you a friend
gets.
of Bill Gates?
It's quite a mess.
You vote these people in on one thing, they do another, and there's zero accountability. They can't even answer simple questions. Justin, thank you for your time. Thank you for not answering very simple questions after you have ruined countless lives in Canada with your vaccine mandates and your authoritarian lockdowns. Thank you very much, Justin. You were a terrible Prime Minister. Goodbye.
Hey, shout out to this guy, by the way. I'm not sure who this dude is, but I'm actually going to try to reach him and get him on my stream so I can interview him about his experience. But it's really, really good to see people doing some actual journalism nowadays. And guys, like we just opened the stream with, for anybody who missed it, it has been ruled officially. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we can read here about it. A federal court ruled that invoking the Emergencies Act in Canada to promote vaccine mandates was completely unreasonable and unlawful given the circumstances. So look, what I'm seeing right now in Justin Trudeau, and the reason why I think he's so smug, is the fact that he got away with it. I'm reading in the chat that he's no longer the Prime Minister. That's a very valid point. And I think Trudeau is very, very happy with himself that he got himself out of office before shit hit the fan with these mandates. And I was hoping something would hit the fan with these mandates, because living through this as a Canadian was one of the darkest and most bleak times of my entire life. Not only because of what happened, but because of how powerless we actually were. Watching people get thrown in jail cells for peacefully protesting, watching people get trampled by horses, by the RCMP, getting their bank accounts frozen, losing their jobs simply because they wanted to protest a vaccine mandate. This is not stuff that happens in the first world. And this is why I often say Canada is a third world country. People need to open their eyes and understand it. If you were living in the first world, you would not be trampled by horses. This sounds like something medieval. You're trying to protest and you're being trampled by horses, getting thrown in a jail cell. Last time I checked, that's not what happens in a first world country. That's what Trudeau did to this country. He destroyed Canada. He destroyed it with woke ideology. He destroyed it with poor economy. He destroyed it with mismanaging almost every single detail in the Canadian government and driving this country into the ground. And now he's gotten away with it all, and he gets to bang Katy Perry to boot. You know what? I'd be smirking too. If I was this evil, I get away with everything, and I got Katy Perry laying in my bed, I might be smirking too.
Canada to vaccinate the
Pushing
people.
disinformation the way you have.
What is
actually
disinformation?
Irresponsible.
What, that
Why
people
you
have
push
died?
People in Canada to vaccinate.
So what do you guys think? Do you think Trudeau is going to see any justice for this, or do you think he completely got away with it? We're going to look at another clip now from Rebel News, and it's really good, again, to see people actually holding Trudeau to account. This clip actually does feature Katy Perry as well, which, by the way, why is Katy Perry at the World Economic Forum? It's so inappropriate. If you're supposed to be a serious politician, why are you pulling up with your girl to the WEF? That's insane. You're not married. This is a girl you just started dating. She's a pop singer. So inappropriate. Just beyond inappropriate. But let's look at this smug very smug man with blood on his hands, walking with Katy Perry. Let's see what he has to say to Ezra from the Rebel News. And I don't agree with everything Rebel News does, but this is good to see.
Mr. Trudeau, what are you doing here at Davos?
No comment.
How come you never comment? This is the spirit of dialogue is the name of the conference. How come you won't dialogue, Prime Minister?
Today you're not getting into the spirit of dialogue here.
Have a good day.
Who paid for you to come here? Was it taxpayers? What do you make of the Federal Court of Appeal upholding...
And the bodyguards are actually pushing people, too. Look on the left, if you look at the guy in the hat. The blonde woman is sort of putting hands on him.
Come here. Was it
that.
taxpayers? What do you make of the Federal Court of Appeal upholding the ruling that your martial law was illegal? They said you violated...
It's good to see you, Ezra. It's been a long time. How you been? How you been keeping?
Pretty well, but
You
didn't speak to me
I'm worried about you.
I don't think you have.
You stopped speaking to me after the boxing match. I never heard from you again.
That's not true.
Wait, Trudeau used to be a boxer? What's this? Okay, after we watch this clip, we're going to dig into the lore of these two. They have a history together with boxing?
Every time we tried to come into contact with you, you had us arrested.
I never had you arrested.
You beat up my colleague David Menzies. Your bodyguards did. Your personal bodyguards beat up David
The
Menzies.
RCMP, the official police of Canada that you're speaking against?
Yeah,
Well,
I think you...
If you're not going to trust our institutions, Ezra, there's a problem there.
I think our institutions have been weakened by you, to be quite candid.
That is your right to believe that and to feel that. And that's certainly something that you've continued to spread. People not trusting our institutions. A certain skepticism is important, but spreading of misinformation and disinformation is just irresponsible. And I think you know that, Ezra. But you've got a good little gig coming on. You've paid for all these people to come to Davos. I encourage you to continue to ask questions and challenge people, but to try and do it in a way that is grounded in facts and reality.
I would so love if they asked him which part is disinformation, because everything that's being said is accurate.
You've introduced more censorship.
Thank you very much.
A conversation is not you lecturing me. A conversation is a back and forth, not you just lecturing people. You misunderstood.
You spend your time lecturing and haranguing people and creating outrage. There's no need to...
You introduced more censorship bills than any other kind of bill. You don't believe in free speech. C-63 and all your other bills are about squelching people who you disagree with.
As well, you continue to make your points, and you're more than welcome to.
So far, but not if you get your way.
Ezra, I think you know that.
I feel like you owe the Canadians an apology for...
Have a good day, sir.
You feel like you owe the world an apology for your behaviour during COVID?
Have a good day, sir.
Is it bizarre not being able...
Please don't knock into me. I appreciate you respect.
Well, your security was just pushing us around before.
Of course.
He still gives selfies. You got to hand him that. He won't talk to reporters, but he'll do a selfie.
I just spoke with you for 5 minutes.
You spoke at me for 5 minutes. You didn't answer any questions. You spoke at me, which is your style, isn't it? You don't do well with dissent. Are you going into any meetings here?
Davos is about meetings. Davos is about connecting with people and talking about how we can continue to put people's success at the center of everything we do.
Are you going to meet up with Mark Carney when he arrives?
I have always happy to speak with any leaders, including my friend.
And how do you think he's doing?
I think he's doing great.
Are you worried about the rift with the United States?
I think everyone is worried about an increasing polarization around the world.
Do you feel that his visit to China was successful?
I think there's a lot of work to do around the world, but it's good that we continue to engage with friends, allies, and potential challenges around the world.
How do you feel about the looming referendum for separatism in Alberta? Have you followed the separatist movement in Alberta?
Very familiar with all the various challenges in Canada, and will continue to trust Canadians' thoughtfulness and unity.
Would you be part of a no campaign on that? Would you weigh in on that campaign?
Wow, shout out to Ezra from Rebel News, by the way, for asking great
Security
questions.
was just...
As a journalist, he asks incredible questions here. And there's obviously something about this reporter that gets under Trudeau's skin, because he was actually able to get Trudeau to talk. These other guys were not able to get even a single statement out of Trudeau except for a smug laugh. This guy seems to get it. By the way, I love the fact that everybody just completely ignores Katy Perry because she's so irrelevant in this situation. Her presence here is really unnecessary. But look, I as a Canadian am so proud to see people trying to hold this man to account. People trying to hold the Canadian government to account. And a lot of people are whining and crying, he's not the prime minister anymore. First of all, it doesn't matter, okay? If you're breaking the law, you should be held to account. I don't care if you're in office or not. But furthermore, this is actually good because it prevents other people from doing it. I don't care who was in office at the time. I want whoever did it to be held accountable because I don't want the next prime minister to come in and do the same thing. And currently we have Mark Carney in power. Who knows what this guy is capable of? This dude is a bigger globalist puppet than Trudeau, something I didn't even think was possible. So look, at the end of the day, it's been ruled that Trudeau was acting unlawfully during the pandemic, locking his own citizens in cages, starving his own people. That's what people don't understand. You know, this buzzword of freezing people's bank accounts, I think is like a very general way to put it. And I don't think it really sinks in what we're actually talking about. What we're talking about is starving your opponents because they disagree with you. Trudeau literally froze the financial assets of people, first of all, who were already poor, okay? Canada has the poorest middle class in the modern world. We pay the most for cell phone bills out of anywhere in the modern world. We pay the most for food, cable, Wi-Fi. Everything is overpriced. We pay the most, and we're such a rich country, but we have some of the poorest people in the middle class. The middle class is essentially disintegrating. And those are the people who went out to protest. What Trudeau decided to do was to freeze the assets of those people, trying to starve them out. You're literally trying to prevent the people who disagree with you from putting food in the mouths of their families. So I don't want to hear shit, oh, he's not in office anymore. I don't care. I want this dude in a jail cell. He literally tried to starve his political opponents. Not even political opponents, just people who disagree with him, who were everyday citizens. These people weren't even in politics. But see, this is what we get in Canada if we decide to stand up and make our voices heard. This is what we're taught. You don't stand up to the government. You don't speak your mind. You don't step up. And I remember during that time how cowardly the average Canadian was. They cowered to the government, scraping, bowing, and kissing the boots of the Trudeau government, whatever Daddy Trudeau says. It was absolutely terrifying. And I remember how Canadians turned on each other. Look, in Canada, we had people literally snitching on their neighbors for having people over to their house during COVID. People looking out the window, trying to see how many cars were in their neighbor's driveway, and calling the police to report them. This is how big of cucks Canadians became to the government during this scenario. And honestly, part of the blame maybe goes on the citizens. You know, if you guys are that much of cucks to the government, if you're going to be told what to do by the government and not rise up, maybe you're part of the problem. The only people who really had a pair of balls were the people who refused the vaccine and the people who went to protest. But the message that we're given in Canada is that unless you're protesting for woke ideologies, you know, you can protest all day for Gaza, you can protest all day for LGBTQ, you can protest for whatever the government supports or whatever woke ideologies you could do. But if you're protesting for the other side, well, that's not allowed. And the message that we're always given is you do not speak about the government, you don't speak against the government, or you will be hammered down. And it's destroyed the political discourse in the country. What we need in Canada is people to keep standing up. And look, I'm so proud of the truckers. I'm so proud of the truckers because they were the first people who took one for the team. All the truckers who had their bank accounts frozen, who were thrown in cages, they put themselves on the line. They sacrificed for us so that this doesn't happen again. And hopefully with the federal courts ruling that this was unlawful, it won't happen again. Now, we're going to play some footage of the protests just so people can, I feel like we really need to take a look at this and really get some visuals here So let's take a look at some of the scenes that happened. By the way, if you guys are liking the stream, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We're live every single day breaking down the biggest stories in the world. Let's take a look at some information about what happened during these protests.
Under the microscope, Ontario's police watchdog is investigating 2 incidents during this weekend's protest. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us in studio with the latest on that. Natalie.
There are two
shout out to the chat.
Separate investigations here involving 2 different police forces. One of those incidents we first reported on yesterday. It involves a police officer on a horse and a protester. Ontario's police watchdog says a complaint was filed this weekend, launching an investigation. And a warning and reminder, some may find the first few images disturbing. This video showing the moment police with Toronto's mounted unit moved through the crowds Friday near the Chateau Laurier. An attempt to separate protesters from a line of officers slowly advancing. As this happened, 2 people fell to the ground, colliding with the horse. Family members posting on social media. The woman involved suffered a broken
look at this. This is insane, man.
People fell to the ground, colliding with the horse. Family members posting on social media. The woman involved suffered a broken clavicle.
Investigators are in the process of interviewing the woman, the 49-year-old woman who had the interaction with the Toronto police officer on who was riding the horse.
A complaint the next day launched an SIU investigation.
There's a process in place to confirm her reported serious injury.
That after false reports circulated online claimed the woman involved died. Are you alive? But this video shows her.
What do you mean, are you alive? What?
Claimed the woman involved died. Are you alive?
Nah, she's not alive, bro. She's just faking it.
But this video
she had her eyes taped open. She's actually not alive.
Shows her very much alive. Fox News' Sarah Carter issuing a public apology for the confusion. It's just one of 2 incidents now filed with the province's police watchdog.
The other relates to discharge of the Arwin. Any questions relating to these 2 incidents must be directed to the Special Investigations Unit.
The SIU says Vancouver Police Department officers discharged anti-riot weapon Enfields at individuals in the area of Spark Street and Bank Street.
A type of firearm that can discharge projectiles, so it could be plastic sort of projectiles, and those types of weapons are meant to subdue individuals.
No injuries were reported, and the SIU is looking for anyone who may have been hit by a projectile.
So chat, what do you guys think? I mean, looking back on these videos, how does it resonate with you? Do you guys feel like this was over the top? I mean, looking at these videos now that were removed from the situation, it absolutely shocks me. I'm going to read a couple of the comments here in the chat. Totally agree. We need to educate people. Yes, good. I completely agree. People in Ottawa hated the protests. Yes, they did, but because the people who weren't protesting and the people who were against it are government bootlickers. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Government bootlicking is so common in Canada. It's what we are taught to do. We are taught to be quiet, be humble, be nice and polite, and do what we're told. So yeah, a lot of people didn't like it. I remember I had a coworker who lived in Ottawa at the time, at remote work. And I would be on calls with him, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, I was having trouble sleeping because of these stupid truckers protesting, and rolling his eyes. Meanwhile, you're sitting at home doing fuck all, literally getting rammed by the government dry, and you're sitting there taking it. And you want to criticize the only people who are actually standing up, not for their rights, for your rights. See, this is what the bootlickers in Canada seem to forget. The people who had a pair on them, who decided to actually stand up and do something about this, they were not just fighting for their rights. They were fighting for your rights. They were fighting for your rights to actually live a free life. They're fighting for your rights to have a job because you don't want to put a vaccine inside of you that you don't know what it is, that was not properly tested, that was not properly vetted. The people at the protest were fighting for your rights to be employed, for your rights to not have your bank account frozen, for your rights to have a sovereign life, not to be a government test animal for a vaccine that we knew nothing about. And it's brainwashing. And I remember when I went through this, guys, because I told you, again, I'm not anti-vax. I think everybody who wants a vaccine should get it. And that's fine. I have nothing against vaccines. If people want them, that's fine. That's your choice. But at the same token, you can't force me to take it. I'm not anti-vax just because I don't want to take it. Anti-vax means I don't think anyone should take it. And this is the label that was put on people who decided to think freely. We were told we were anti-vax because I don't want to be forced to take it. I'm not anti-vax, but here's the thing. Everybody around me took it. I was ostracized from society in Canada for not taking it. This is me living my real life, experiencing this. I was ostracized. And guys, I'll tell you, after a couple months of being ostracized, not being able to go to a mall food court, not being able to go to a movie theater, being told I would never travel again, I'll never forget this moment. I feel ill just telling you this. I remember there was a moment where I was sitting with someone who was trying to convince me to take it. And I said, you know what? Maybe I should take it. I got brainwashed almost. I reached a breaking point where I was like, you know what? Maybe this is just a normal vaccine. Maybe it's not that bad after all. Maybe all the negative effects are overhyped. And maybe I should take it. And I almost gave in. That's how strong the brainwashing actually was. And I snapped out of it. Because I said, I don't want to take this. And again, I'm not anti-vax. I have no investment in stopping anybody from taking anything. If you want to, shoot a bag of fentanyl tonight, God bless you. Do what you want to do. I am not against what anybody else wants to do. But the second you infringe on my personal liberties, the second you infringe on what I can do with my own body, we're going to have a serious problem. And I find it so ironic. This is the most ironic part, right? Who are the people who push the narrative of my body, my choice? The liberals. It's the Liberal Party, these left-wing lunatics who push the idea of my body, my choice. So apparently that's okay for women. And apparently it only applies in certain situations. So yes, it's your body, your choice. Unless we're telling you to get this vaccine, then it's your body, my choice. Trudeau somehow turned into Nick Fuentes and told everybody, your body, my choice. That's bullshit. And they brainwashed half the population and fired the rest of the population. And the rest of them they didn't fire, they froze their bank accounts. So it's criminal. Look, I will not rest until I see Trudeau in a jail cell. He needs to go to prison. This dude is completely out of his mind. What he did to this country, we will never recover from what Trudeau did to Canada. We will never bounce back. Listen, Canada used to be an incredible nation. An incredible nation. And this nation has been completely destroyed. And people talk about Trudeau not being in office anymore. Here's the thing. The damage that he's done is still here with us. It doesn't even matter if he's here. It would take us a decade to even get close to what Canada used to be under Stephen Harper. To even get close to the prosperous country, a booming middle class, opportunity for work and earning money. We haven't even talked about the immigration. We haven't even talked about half the stuff this dude has done to destroy the country. It's going to take us a decade at least to reverse what he's done. So what do you guys think? Should Trudeau go to jail or not? Like, seriously, this is insane. What do you guys think? Trudeau derangement syndrome. That's a good one. TDS. It's the same acronym, TDS, Trudeau derangement syndrome. No one forced vaccines? Boy, that's delusional. Let me see. This guy wants to hear himself talk. You're the one sitting here listening to me talk, so obviously you want to hear me talk. Nobody's forcing you to be here. I'm not Trudeau. I don't force people to do things with their bodies. Your ears, your choice. You don't have to listen to me, dog. You don't have to listen to me at all. You're too stupid to change the channel. You don't even know how to work a remote, dumbass. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, I feel like Trudeau should definitely be held accountable for this, and the less we see of this dude, the better. It is just horrible. I want to play one more clip too. Thank you so much for the super chat, Rob. I really appreciate it. Rob says, you're absolutely right about Trudeau. And guys, look, it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal about Trudeau as a man. I don't know the guy. I would say this about anybody who was behaving this way. And it's also nothing to do with the left wing. I just want to say that. I don't care. Listen, I'm not a fan of politics. So I'm not right wing. I'm not left wing. I think they're all full of shit. So if this was from a super right-wing conservative guy who was doing the same thing, I would be criticizing it just as much. People try to frame it like it's a left and right. This is about right versus wrong. And this is, again, part of the sickness. This is the political sickness that people have. They are so loyal to their side, like it's a sports team, that they will make excuses for the left if they like the left and excuses for the right when they like the right. They can't even acknowledge when somebody does something right or wrong. They're so brainwashed by which side they like. So at the end of the day, it's brainwashing. That's simply what it is. And, you know, I don't fly like that. I don't give a shit who it is, what party you're on. If you're doing evil shit to your people, if you're trying to starve the citizens of your country because they don't want to put an experimental vaccine in their bodies, that's crimes against humanity in my definition. Fuck it. We're rewriting the law. I write the law now. That's crimes against humanity. This is my court. This is the Cassius Morris court. Lock them up. Let's look at this clip. So for anybody who feels like they weren't forced to take the vaccine, let's just hop over to the U.S. for a second. This is what was happening under Bill de Blasio in New York City. This is a special clip I'm going to queue up for the people who said nobody was forced. Impeccable.
Going to help us out. And did you say free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this? Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be
free fries and burgers if you inject an experimental vaccine. It's got to be safe.
Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination.
Wow. Wow. And people defended this. Whoever defended this should actually be ashamed of themselves. I'm not going to lie. If you think anything about this is normal or acceptable, you might actually need mental help.
Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment. Thank you.
Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. And I find it so funny, too, that people have the nerve to say, it was years ago, it was 5 years ago, move on. Let me tell you something. And this is what happens when you live through history. I think it's a condition that when you live through history, you don't actually realize the scale of it. People are going to be talking about this 100 years from now. This is one of the biggest turning points, period, in human history in terms of government, in terms of control, in terms of the globalist elite, controlling what you do, controlling what you put into your body, abusing their power. 5 years. People are going to be talking about this 150 years from now. They're going to teach college courses about what happened during this time. And people have the nerve to say, oh, it was 5 years ago. It's irrelevant. Use your brain. This is not going away. This is the modern day. Look, they're going to have the modern day Nuremberg trials for this. I bet you any money. Listen, mark it, timestamp it. January 21st. For me, I'm a day ahead. I'm on the other side of the world. Watching the world burn from the other side of the world. I fled a long time ago. It's January 21st, 11:53 p.m. Timestamp it right now. There will be modern day Nuremberg trials for the COVID pandemic. I shouldn't have used that word because they're going to try to restrict me now. For the pandemic. There better be. And I want all of these dudes who did this under the jail. They need to build a new bunker under the jail to put these dudes in. Absolutely sickening. We have another clip here. Make sure to like the stream, by the way, guys, and hit that subscribe. I'm live every single day, grinding my ass off to become the biggest live streamer on the planet with actual substance. I'm not on here doing backflips. I'm not on here with girls from OnlyFans shaking their asses. I'm not running through the streets terrorizing people with meta glasses. I'm working hard to bring you the facts and bring you substance. So if you appreciate substance that is coming from the people to the people, this is a movement to oppose the mainstream media. This channel right here, whenever I come on this channel and look in the chat, these are my people. This is us against the mainstream media. This is us opposing big government. This is anti-globalist. This is real talk. This is the type of talk that we would have in our kitchen. So if you guys like it, man, listen. We're taking the hard way. We're not taking the easy way. Let's look at this video of Bill Gates also being confronted at Davos.
Spirit of dialogue. Let's have a conversation, an open dialogue. Can you answer some of these questions? Mr. Gates, can I ask you what you think about the United States, the HHS and the CDC lowering the childhood vaccine schedule? What do you think about that? Mr. Gates, what do you think about the HHS lowering the vaccine schedule in the USA?
And by the way, I don't wish it on anyone. And just for maybe legal reasons, I'll say I hope it doesn't happen. I truly hope this doesn't happen, and I discourage this from happening. But if they keep having these guys walking outside like this, something bad's going to happen. There is zero reason why world leaders should be walking outside like this after what happened to Charlie Kirk. This is a massive security failure.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Mr. Gates, I'm a student from Columbia. I'm building a startup that aims to democratize access to education. Can I just have 10 seconds of your time? I don't share my idea with you.
Mr. Gates, given the complications that came out from the COVID vaccine, do you think that it was actually wrong to push such a thing on the world? No answers? Mr. Gates, can you at least accept now that it is public domain and common knowledge that the COVID vaccine was basically a failure? Can you accept...
How brain dead do you have to be, by the way, to take a selfie with Bill Gates? See, this is why these people are managing to retain power. Because the general public is so low IQ that they see one of the biggest criminals in modern day history and they want to take a selfie with them. They want to take a selfie with Justin Trudeau. They want to take a selfie with Netanyahu or Bill Gates. These people are low IQ and they're sick.
Accept that and at least apologize to the world for getting it wrong. It's okay to get things wrong if you admit you get things wrong when you are wrong. Can you do that? Come on, Bill. The theme of the WEF this year is spirit of dialogue. Let's have a conversation, an open dialogue. Can you answer some of these questions? Okay, how about ignore these questions if there were complications with the COVID vaccine and you got things wrong and people were harmed and died?
Oh, these NPCs are crazy. First of all, this bitch has taken 19 pictures. Can you get out of here, lady? How many selfies do you need with this lizard man?
Sorry. All right. Thanks so much.
Bill, can you at least answer one of those questions? Well, actually, you're walking in my way. Bill, often they say, you know, we should trust the experts when it comes to vaccination.
I see somebody in the chat from Switzerland. So what are your thoughts on what's happening in Davos? If there's anybody from Switzerland, please give me your thoughts.
Yeah, how are you an expert? You work in computers, you don't work in medicine, yet you seem to know so much about it. Why can't we answer these? Bill, are these people telling you what to do because you are losing your mind? You don't look very with it today. Mr. Gates?
Bro, this report is amazing.
No. Now, he's being pushed around. He almost looks like Joe Biden towards the end of his premiership, where he would just walk aimlessly around the place. Almost like maybe he's had too many vaccines and it's causing brain damage. You saw his people going, no, Bill, this way.
But there's Bill Gates.
That's amazing. Too many vaccines. Holy shit. I'm not going to play Alex Jones. I'm not going to play Alex Jones right now. Would you guys take a selfie with Bill Gates? I feel like that's so crazy. It's so crazy to do. But yeah, guys, look, at the end of the day, just the lack of accountability is so disgusting. And look, we're seeing it everywhere. We're seeing it basically in every government in the world right now, every major government. There's zero accountability. But what I'm hoping right now with the internet and freedom of information, but more so than that, the will of the people, is that we can somehow find a way to hold these folks accountable. Because again, people want to hold us in the past with this. They want to say it was 5 years ago. They want to say Trudeau's not in office. All these excuses. The reality of these excuses is that they're not relevant. The reason it's relevant to pursue this now is to stop it from happening in the future. So to say Trudeau's not in office, it was 5 years ago, it doesn't matter. We need to hold leaders accountable now to prevent the next leaders from using radical abuses of power, from forcing people to take vaccines, from debanking people. If this doesn't stop now, what is stopping the future leaders from doing this and doing this to a higher level, to a stronger level, to a more authoritarian level? Well, the answer is nothing is going to stop them if we don't stop this now. There needs to be an example made out of somebody who needs to be held accountable. I don't know who it's going to be. Somebody in the government. It could be Trudeau. It could be anybody. Somebody involved in this vaccination shit needs to go to prison. Because what is going to stop these people from doing this again? What is going to stop the prime minister next time from censoring us again, stomping on us with horses again? We have all these censorship bills now in Canada. And that's what the Rebel News guy, he made a great point. He said, look, because Trudeau told him it's your right to express your thoughts. And the reporter said, if you have your way with these censorship bills, that's not going to last for long. And look, whenever people ask me why I left Canada, I just show them videos like this. Because I'm on the other side of the world with my blood pressure rising watching these videos. Imagine how I would feel if I was still there. And this literally, every day I woke up in Canada, guys, I woke up angry. I legitimately woke up angry because I'm living in an authoritarian country and none of the citizens seem to realize it. That's the part that angers me the most. And this is why when you see citizen journalists like this guy getting up and speaking, people trying to actually confront these folks, it makes me happy. It really, truly makes me happy. I'm seeing in the chat, Alberta wants to secede. Yeah, I'm seeing that. It's just crazy, dude. It's the whole thing with Alberta's a crazy, fucked up place to live. That's where I lived, actually, was Alberta. Alberta's a fucking mess. It's literally, it's like a fever dream to live there. And people are completely confused. I will give Alberta credit, though, because they stand up to Trudeau. If you're going to see a fuck Trudeau sticker on anybody's truck, you would have seen it in Alberta. So I actually can't shit on Alberta too much. I gotta show love to my fellow Alberta boys because you guys did stand up and try to speak on it. I remember pretty much every public gathering that would happen in Alberta was basically overtaken with fuck Trudeau chants. I remember we went to some meet and greet for the Nelk boys, the whole parking lot screaming fuck Trudeau unprovoked. They brought the UFC to Alberta, the whole crowd. Let's look at this UFC Trudeau. This was so funny. Like everywhere you go in Alberta, they would just start screaming fuck Trudeau. Actually, this might have been in Toronto, but still. This is in the middle of the fight, too. This isn't even an intermission. So funny. Oh, Rogan spoke on it? What did Rogan say?
Fuck Trudeau.
I was at the UFC?
Yelling fuck Trudeau.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
That guy's
Canada,
a piece of shit.
Canada, get your shit together. Come back. Come back to what you used to be.
Shout out Rogan, by the way. He was one of the only guys who had a platform, who decided to speak up for us in that time. Jonathan says, don't worry, we'll get you all in America soon. Dude, I'm down to have American citizenship, 100%. If I could be a dual citizen with America, that would make my life so much easier. I've told you guys before, Canada has no opportunity. There's no system to, become relevant in entertainment unless you completely do it on your own. That's why I do it on my own. But there's no opportunity to do anything in Canada except for go work on an oil rig and just literally become a slave. That's the thing. The only people who succeed in Canada are slaves. And I just see it like a reward for being the best slave. You have a nice house, you have a car, you're paying your mortgage, but you have no life. All you do is work. You go to an oil rig for 12 hours a day, come home and sleep, and that's your life. And the only people who are rewarded in Canada are the best slaves. Whoever's the best little slave who goes and works away on the rigs, puts on a hard hat like a good little boy, and goes to slave away, those are the only people who are rewarded. Nobody who wants to do business, free market, entertainment, zero opportunity in Canada. So ultimately, I would absolutely love to become a dual citizen with the USA. I think it would be phenomenal. I don't know how it would work. I mean, I just imagine like the truck drivers. Let's say you had to do a truck route from Saskatchewan to Alberta. I don't know how that's going to work for the truck drivers, if you're going to need a passport. There would be lots of things that would have to change for us to be part of the United States. But ultimately, look, I think it could be cool. The only thing that's separating Alberta from America is that Albertans don't have guns. If we have guns, we're basically America. Jurgen says Canada can become like the UK is right now. Jurgen, look, I've spoken about it many times on this stream before. I have so much love and respect for my friends in the UK, and I really, really wish them the best, and it hurts me to see it because the UK is basically Canada in 5 years. So they just got a head start on it. They got a head start on destroying their country with immigration. They got a head start on destroying the country with censorship and woke ideology. They just got a head start. And they moved more aggressively. So now at this point, Canada is basically in line to be next up and be exactly like the UK. And if you want to know what Canada is going to look like in 5 years, literally just take a look at the UK. People being arrested for Facebook comments. People being arrested for liking a post that was deemed offensive against somebody in woke ideology. We're right behind you guys. There's already legislation in Canada that if I misgender somebody, I can lose my teaching license. I could potentially face legal trouble for misgendering somebody in Canada. Look at the re-education of Jordan Peterson. Don't make me pull it up. Do I have to pull it up? Let me pull it up. You guys, like, it's out of control. And people say, the funniest thing about me, and again, this is why I say, and I don't mean to shit on Canada, but this is why I say people are bootlickers there. Because every time I try to talk about this with passion, people say, hey man, why are you shitting on your own country? Excuse me. Last time I checked, if you love something or somebody, you're going to be very passionate about that thing if it's going to shit. If I have somebody in my family that I love and they start doing heroin and destroying their life, I'm not just going to say, well, it is what it is. Let it be. It's all right. I'm going to be shaking them, saying, get to rehab. Get the fuck up. We're going to fix this. We need to fix you because I love and care about you. So people try to frame it like I hate Canada. You don't get passionate about things you don't care about. I love Canada. Canada is my home country. And the reason it makes me so angry is because I want to see us prosperous. The country that I was born into no longer exists. But I remember it. I remember the essence of Canada when it was actually a nation. When it wasn't a nation of strangers, politically divided, mass immigration destroying the country, taking all the opportunities from the people who live there, middle class being able to afford to live. I remember when I was young, my parents were in the middle class. My parents both worked regular jobs in Canada. We used to go to the mall and eat out basically every day. We would go to the food court every day. 2 regular jobs. My parents weren't rich. My parents made regular salary. We were able to go eat out. Nice restaurant once a week. At least Tony Roma is something. People in Canada don't even go to restaurants anymore. They can't afford it. I'm over here in Asia. I went back to visit my family a couple months ago, and this is when it really shocked me because, first of all, there's nobody but immigrants in the country. I look around, there's nobody but immigrants. You know, you go to different countries. I go to Thailand, I see Thai people. I go to Singapore, I see Singaporeans. I go to Canada, there's no Canadians. There's no Canadians. It's literally unrecognizable. So that's the first thing I noticed. But the second thing I noticed when I went back, and this is why I had to leave again, nobody does anything. I asked some family friends, I said, you guys what do you guys do? Do you guys go downtown? No, we don't go downtown. There's too many crackheads. Oh, so you're just going to leave it to them then? You guys just give the crackheads downtown and just give up and that's normal to you? Okay, well, what restaurants do you go to? Oh, we don't go to restaurants. It's too expensive. Well, what bars do you guys like to go to? We don't go to bars. It's too expensive. So what do you do? Well, we go to work, pay 50% of our taxes to the government to fuck us, and then go to bed. And you're okay with that. It's incomprehensible. Let's take a look at this clip of Jordan Peterson. He might say it a little bit more gracefully than me. Let's take a look at this. So this is Jordan Peterson explaining why his clinical psychology license was under threat. And Canada was trying to launch the re-education of Jordan Peterson. This is shocking stuff.
The Joe Rogan experience.
So we decided to have this conversation because of what's going on with you in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
And that your clinical psychology license is in jeopardy because you have opinions about politics.
Shout out Drake. Shout out to my fellow Canadians, bro. All my fellow Canadians, trust me, we all know what's up. I am very secure in my statements right now because we all know what's up.
Agree with, which is psychology license is in jeopardy because you have opinions about politics that they disagree with, which is a very dangerous and bizarre turn of events.
Well, it's your fault, actually. You know, I told you, I think, a week or so ago when we talked about this. Okay, so let me give you some background here. So
I want to know how it's my fault.
I will. I'll tell you. A lot of things are your fault, as it turns out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the College of Psychologists has basically levied what are equivalent to about 13 lawsuits against me simultaneously. Now, the reason I call them lawsuits is because they're actions undertaken on behalf of a complainant. Now, the complainant can be anyone anywhere in the world who complains about me for any reason. They don't have to be former clients. They don't even have to be anybody I've ever met. They don't even have to have met anybody I've ever met. So, you know.
So it could be someone online.
Well, it is. All this is pretty much, all these complaints are someone online. None of them are my clients, although half of them claim to be falsely. And the college didn't throw out their complaints despite that. So, which is really quite interesting.
And what are the complaints?
Well, okay, let's see. The one complaint is about the tweet I made about Ellen or Elliot Page, and when I said that a criminal physician cut off her breasts and that pride was the sin. So now I'm in trouble again because I just said the same thing. One was about Sports Illustrated cover where they featured that overweight model, and I tweeted out "not beautiful," and I guess that was something like fat shaming. I don't remember exactly what the charge was. And then I criticized Justin Trudeau and a former staff member of Justin Trudeau and Jacinda Ardern. I made a joke about her I was going to New Zealand, and the New Zealand leftist press was freaking out, and I made this joke about bringing my alt-right trolls to New Zealand, and then I put in parentheses, or maybe they're just, you know, ordinary people who are trying to clean up their rooms. So apparently that was casting the profession into disgrace. And then they submitted one complainant from the U.S.
Hey, shout out Kingful, man. Shout out Jamaica in the chat.
Submitted the entire transcript of our last discussion. So I don't know how to defend myself against that, because apparently everything I say, and apparently everything you say too, is bringing the profession of psychology into disgrace. And I think they're most upset in that case about my comments about the inadequacy of climate models. And so, part of the reason I'm pursuing this action with regard to the Ontario College of Psychologists, well, there's two reasons really. Three. One is, leave me the hell alone, guys. You've been on my case nonstop for 7 years. Not once before that in 20 years of practice. There's no complaints ever levied against me. It wasn't until I started to become, relatively well known publicly that the college came after me. And 7 years of that gets to be a bit much, especially now that there's 13 lawsuits compiled up, and all of them are for political opinions, and half of them have been put forward on false grounds. But even that's not enough for me to engage in the battle. The reason I'm engaging in the battle is, well, first of all, you want me to do social media retraining so I communicate better according to your experts? It's like, experts by what criteria exactly? What's a social media communication expert? You got any documentation that even exists as a field? And how do you know that if you have that social media expert train me, that I'm going to be a better therapist? There's no body of data that suggests that in the least. So I'm not going down that route.
We should explain that, because
so
that
I've
is
already
one of
been
the things.
sentenced, right?
Yes.
This isn't a threat by the college. This is what the situation already is. I haven't been hauled in front of their disciplinary board yet, but they've already convicted me of disgracing the profession and sentenced me to an indefinite period of re-education. And that's the second most serious punishment that they can levy against a professional. The first is to take away the license. The second is to undergo this retraining and to publicly announce the necessity for that, which they've already done in my case. And so now I have to sit down with these experts at my expense for an indefinite period of time until I'm trained properly, whatever the hell that means, by the criteria of the so-called experts and the college. And that isn't pending an investigation. That's already in place.
It's such a wild request, too.
See, this is what they do, guys. The re-education of Jordan Peterson, so basically making him go through thought training to get his clinical psychology license back. I mean, this is all completely made up. It's all bullshit. And look, Jordan Peterson, I hope he's doing well right now, by the way. I'm sending well wishes to the family. I know he's been very ill lately. But honestly, guys, all these mystery illnesses, I think a lot of it has to do with this, because this is what Canada does to you. If you are somebody who wants to step up and be a thought leader or become a prominent figure in entertainment, speaking on political ideologies, and it doesn't exactly align with what the country wants you to push, they will try to burn you into the ground and ostracize you. I've had it happen to me. And look, luckily I've gotten myself to a point. I have a phenomenal network. I have millionaires and billionaires in my phone. I have famous people in my phone. I don't need fucking anybody. I don't need any network. I don't need CBC. I don't need anybody. I got it all on lock. Luckily, that's my situation. But if you are relying on these systems or these companies, which I used to have to work with people. I used to have to work with companies in Canada. If you decide to step out of line, they will try to burn you to the ground. And honestly, I think this psychological warfare is part of what made Jordan Peterson sick. The guy's got mystery illnesses ever since he became famous and had to go through this. He's been harassed for 7 years. This does something to a guy. This does something to people. And they're threatening his career. So I know this was a couple years ago, but this just goes to show what happens to you. And I've been through it, trust me. You know, I remember the one time I was doing a radio show in Canada, and I said very, very mild things about Trump. I didn't even endorse what he did. I think I just didn't condemn it. I was speaking on Trump and something that he said or did, I can't remember the exact scenario, but I didn't even say I liked Trump or I support him. I just said that I didn't even condemn it. I just said, whatever. It was fine. I got a phone call from the radio station, a group call from the station, trying to intimidate me for not condemning Trump on the radio, saying it sounded like you were supporting Trump. And I simply said, okay, well, I happen to like some of the things Donald Trump has done. That is my right. And I'm not going to apologize because that's freedom of speech. Shortly after, I was let go from the radio show. Now, I don't need a radio show. I got my own radio. Honestly, I'm doing 10 to 125,000 viewers per live stream. I'm doing 1,000 times the numbers of that radio show on my own. So I don't need anybody. But the people who do, this is what they do to you. They try to put you in a corner. They try to silence you. They try to make you be quiet. But most importantly, they try to make you fall in line. I will never fall in line. Jordan Peterson isn't falling in line. And we got to stop falling in line because we're never going to get out of this if we don't. We got to keep standing up. But it's scary, man. It's scary how you get ostracized from society. And it's not even so much that people will say things to you. When they called me about the Trump stuff, that was a rare instance where they were direct. But people, they'll just withhold opportunities. They'll stop answering you as quickly. It's not what they say, it's what they don't say. And they slowly ostracize you from their society. Very, very sick society. King, I can see your chat, brother. I already gave you a shout out. I think you're behind in the stream. PD says, I spent 15 years in radio in Toronto and I had to finally just quit because it was unbearable to work there anymore. Couldn't say this and couldn't say that. See, PD, shout out to you, bro, because it's a shame that you had to go through that. But just so you know, bro, you're not alone. You're not alone, man. And to all my Canadians out there, I know there's a lot of you guys in the chat. I know there's a lot of you guys who are going to be watching the recording. I really want you guys to know you guys are not alone. And the fact about this is that we are stronger together. We are stronger together. We can combat this. And it's really as simple as just continuing to talk about it. Every chance that I get to talk about these issues, I will talk about them. As my platform continues to grow, I will keep talking about them. And I'm going to go shout it from the rooftops anywhere I can all over the world because we need justice for our country. And the only reason I will do it, guys, I will reiterate this again, is because I love my country. I love Canada. I absolutely love the people there. The people of Canada are some of the best people in the world, and they deserve the best quality of life possible. They deserve the most opportunities possible. They deserve prosperity. They deserve brighter days. They don't deserve what's happening to them. It's wrong. You can't censor people and take their jobs away and starve people and put people in cages because they think differently. That is not Canadian. That's anti-Canadian. It's not the country I grew up in. It's not the country I was born in. Everything that's happening in this country is unrecognizable to me, and I'm only 27. I'm not even that old. I'm not even that old. But the entire country has changed. And this is our job now. Here's the thing that just if we're going to end this story on one note, we'll end it with this. We have to do it. It's imperative that we do it because this is our job. The older generations are on the way out and we're on the way in. We're the next leaders. We're the next government. We're the next prime ministers. Well, maybe me. I'm just joking. But ultimately, this is our job now. So we got to stand up and talk. We got to stand up and do this. We got to make sure that we take our country back. Pat, I really appreciate it. Yes, Canadians deserve freedom of speech. 100%. That's a basic human right. That's a basic human right is freedom of speech. I remember too, I was working, I've worked all kinds of jobs before I was full-time in media. And they were all in Canada. I remember I was working at this one restaurant. The entire restaurant, it was like a woke restaurant. Everybody in the restaurant was woke. And I had to sit there and listen to their rhetoric. I had to listen to them talk about the evil conservatives or anybody who doesn't agree with the woke ideology. And I had to sit there and take it. And I was thinking, imagine if this was the other way around. Imagine if I was in a kitchen and I was saying, I'm MAGA, I like Trump and all this shit. And these other people who disagreed just had to sit here and take it, had to sit here and listen to it. But no, the only people who should be ostracized are the people who don't agree with woke. It's absolutely insane. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments about all of these stories. Haters are mad. That means I'm doing my job. To all the haters who've been watching through the whole episode, thank you very much for helping my channel. I really, truly appreciate you guys. And you guys make my night. Every comment you make makes me smile a little bit harder. So please continue boosting my algorithm. Make sure to come hate on me tomorrow. I'll be here the same time tomorrow. If you want to come, leave all your hate mail at Cassius Morris Official. Actually, get me on socials too. I could use the algorithm there. So yeah, I really, really hope you guys come to hate on me tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I'm really, really excited. Lil Riley says, I back the Canadians who want more freedoms and want freedom of speech. It's so important to have that. Absolutely. PD says, Toronto unfortunately has really changed over the years. PD, Toronto isn't even safe. Toronto isn't a safe place anymore. It's actually pretty scary what's happening in Toronto. It's like Gotham City on crack now. But yeah, I don't like to really be in Canada anymore. I just don't. If we can turn it around, I would be happy to go back. But I'm not used to it anymore living out here, dude. I'm not used to crackheads anymore. I'm not really used to this stuff anymore. Actually, what I found is when I went back to Canada, this is a trip. When I went back to Canada, I actually had a bit of reverse culture shock. Because I'm like, how can we actually live like this? And just think it's okay. It was like a reverse culture shock. You would think me going to the other side of the world would be the culture shock. The culture shock I had was actually when I went back. When did I move? I moved in April of this year, of 2025. Actually, March of 2025. I went back like 2.5 months ago for a quick visit, and then I came and left again. They switched a bunch of gun laws while Parliament was in session. Oh God, I have to look at that, Jesse. PD says, I have a cottage up in Pentagushian. Where's that at? Now, which is where I spend a lot of my time. Is that in Ontario? Oh, where did I move? Here and there. I live all types of places. I don't really feel like settling in one city right now, so it depends on the day. I live in different countries in Southeast Asia. So yeah, guys, let me see. Do we have one more story? There's one more development about this whole Andrew Tate, Sneeko, Nick Fuentes thing. But guys, are we done with this story or should we cover it? This is going to be my Ask the Audience moment. We're going to do it like Oprah back in the day. Ask the audience. Just yes or no. Should we go on the Andrew Tate, Sneeko shit for them apologizing for playing the Kanye song and explaining it, or should we pack that story up? We'll do a Ask the Audience. Ding, 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 ding. We're going to play the waiting music. Oh, Bangkok. Hey, shout out Bangkok, bro. I just left Bangkok. The air is really bad right now in Bangkok, actually. That almost influenced my decision to leave. Like, the air is really, really bad. So yeah. We got a yes, we got a let's move on. I feel like I want to move on, but like just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in with this Andrew Tate shit every time. All right. Let's see what else there is. I've had enough, man. I've had enough of the red pill influencers for 1 week. Let's take a look at this. This clip I've actually seen. So this is going viral right now, and this is literally shocking. So this woman that's pictured here is evidently the health ambassador of Wales. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Guys, you can't make this up. Can you make this up? The health ambassador. Let's just listen to the clip. I can't even.
a person who is from an ethnic minority background, you know, some communities it's actually taboo to, and you know, it's quite a sensitive topic to talk about. So if you're not being able to learn about these things through the medium of school, then where do you learn, you know? And I wish when I was in school we were, you know, they teach us in Welsh back and back about, you know, how to apply for a bank account and how to, you know, get a job. But what about things like how to check if, you know, do a breast exam? How do I know if, you know, signs of cervical cancer, screenings, when am I supposed to get those?
Riley, I'm not being mean, but seriously, there's a limit. There's a limit, Riley, and I got love for you, Riley, in the chat. I've been seeing your chats, but let's just say that, okay, let's say you're going to a personal trainer, right? Let's say you sign up at a gym, there's a personal trainer, they sign you up to go to a one-on-one consultation. Are you really going to buy it if this is your trainer? And it's nothing against her as a person. But seriously, how is this the health minister? How can you teach people how to be healthy if you're visibly unhealthy? I'm not buying this. It's like the fat gym teachers in school. I could never take it seriously. I'm like, you're telling me to run laps, bro? You need to run laps. Who are you telling me what I need to do? I'm not even... I feel so mean. Now I feel mean. Riley, now I feel mean. Uh-oh, this just happened while we were live, guys. President Trump is now calling out Canadian PM Mark Carney to his face for not being grateful to America. What? Whoa. Trump says Canada lives because of the U.S. Remember that, Mark. Whoa. No way. Hang on a second. Let's play this clip. This is crazy. I just want to make sure you guys can see it okay. We'll go a little closer. This OBS shit is pissing me off right now. What is Trump saying about Mark Carney now?
All we want from Denmark for national and international security and to keep our very energetic and dangerous potential enemies at bay is this land on which we're going to build the greatest golden dome ever built. We're building a golden dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful.
Ooh.
But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Whoa.
What we did for Israel was amazing.
Whoa.
But that's nothing compared to what we have planned for the United States, Canada, and Israel was amazing. But that's nothing compared to what we have planned for the United States, Canada, and the rest of the world. We are going to build a dome like no other. We did it. We did it.
Bro, Trump is such a gangster. It's actually insane. Look, I feel like we always knew Trump was a gangster, but we've never seen him get as gangster as he actually is now. It's insane. Unknown. He is unhinged, and it's actually wild. It's just wild. And I wonder what's going to happen. Part of me wonders if he's going to be able to keep going like this and not get put in his place from somebody. But the question is, who can put him in his place? I think Trump sort of woke up one day during this term and realized that. He didn't seem to have this level of, he's so emboldened now. He didn't really seem to be this way before. But I think he woke up one day and realized, wait a second, nobody can stop me from doing anything. Legal, illegal, right, wrong, it really doesn't matter. Nobody can hold him to account. Nobody can stop him. The dude's unstoppable. They try to put him in jail. They can't put him in jail. They impeach him. It doesn't work. They try to shoot him in the head. He doesn't die. They can't stop the guy. And you know what? It almost makes sense why he's so emboldened, because they've tried everything. They've tried everything. You can't get rid of this guy. I want to pull this one up too. Ski Mask Trump on TikTok. Have you guys seen Ski Mask Trump? This is some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen in my life, dude. And it's scary how well it actually works too. Look at this. Wait a second. I got to make sure it's in frame. This is crazy, bro. How well it fits is the part that I... Fuck off, chat. Not chat. I mean the window that's popping up on the screen. I don't mean the people in the chat. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is Ski Mask Trump. It's my favorite.
Seized 1.9 million barrels of oil on December 10th.
We're going to keep it. We're keeping it.
Where's it? Are we going to sell it or put it in the strategic?
Maybe
oil
we'll sell
reserve?
it. Maybe we'll keep it. Maybe we'll use it in the strategic reserves. We're keeping it. We're keeping the ships also. Yeah, please.
Sir, have you spoken to American oil companies that have had their assets seized about what a post-Maduro Venezuela would mean for them, what coming back and restarting operations?
The big ones, yeah. I have.
It works so well. Why does it work so well? It's almost too good. But honestly, dude, I can't unsee that. Like, this is literally how I see Trump now. Dude's going full kingpin mode. Bro's going full gangster. What did he lie about in terms of Canada? I don't think he lied about anything. Yeah, I don't think Trump was necessarily wrong about what he said about Canada. I mean, I do think Canada does get a lot of freebies. And I've said this before on my past streams, and I'm speaking as a Canadian. The only reason we're in the position that we're in with Trump is because of our own mismanagement. There's no way around it. And anybody who's claiming otherwise is just, I think, being disingenuous or maybe it's wishful thinking. But truly, we would not be in this position if we didn't, make ourselves so reliant on the United States. And we've just played our cards wrong. That's simply what it is. We've played our cards wrong. Instead of working to become an international superpower in our own right or with other countries, we just took the easy way out and just decided to make our nearest ally, or who we thought was our ally, the nearest neighboring country, our biggest number one trade partner and our biggest partners. But really, strategically, it's the wrong move. I think geographically it's the right move, but it's the easy move because it's so close. And now what we're seeing is Canada actually trying to get their shit together. So I think what Trump has done for Canada is actually a good thing. I think he's stimulating growth in our government, and I think expansion is the better word. He's stimulating expansion in our government. We see our government now trying to make closer ties with China, trying to make closer ties with international superpowers. So I think this is actually good. But don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for Canada. I would ultimately say that we've put ourselves in this position. So, yeah, I can't really blame Trump for what he's doing. I don't know if he's necessarily going about it the right way. That's crazy that Trump said that, though. I would pay to see Mark Carney's face, by the way. I would pay to see Mark Carney's face. Oh, look at this. So wait, Mark Carney publicly confronted at Davos. Let's go.
And I suspect, you would be the kind of epitome of a globalist. You worked for Goldman Sachs, I believe. You were a central banker. You're comfortable and lived in several...
Oh, hang on a second. Who is this guy? I got to give this guy major props. You were at the World Economic Forum calling out globalists? This dude's got a pair of balls on him.
President Trump and a lot of people who agree with him condemn globalism a lot. And I suspect, you would be the kind of epitome of a globalist. You worked for Goldman Sachs, I believe. You were a central banker. You're comfortable and lived in several countries. Is globalism, first of all, is it a thing? And is it over?
Whoa, this is a crazy question.
I think, look, understanding how the world works, having an appreciation for other cultures.
Knowing how the world works doesn't make you a globalist. Globalists...
Hang on, Alex. This is my stream. This is my stream, Alex. Let's relax here. I'm watching his show, to be fair.
We know the old order is not coming back.
Oh, he's talking about New World Order again.
An adaptation.
Evil. Reverse migration, reverse colonialism, plus the third world. So yeah, globalism's dead.
We understand that this rupture calls for more than adaptation. It calls for honesty about the world as it is. We are taking the sign out of the window. We know the old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy.
Whoa.
But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just. This is the task of the middle powers. The countries that have the most to lose from a world of fortresses and a most to gain from genuine cooperation. The powerful have their power. But we have something too. The capacity to stop pretending, to name reality, to build our strength at home, and to act together. That is Canada's path. We choose it openly and confidently, and it is a path wide open to any country willing to take it with us.
Just since we were talking.
Wow. Such hollow words from such a hollow man. And this isn't the first time he's mentioned it, by the way. We've seen him mention it a number of times. Mark Carney is openly calling for a new world order. Openly. And yeah, PD, we, who the hell is we? I don't know any Canadians who want to be part of the New World Order. And by the way, I thought the New World Order already began. I thought this began many years ago, but apparently they're trying to start a second edition of the New World Order. But this isn't even a secret anymore. That's insane, though, to see such hollow words. Wow. So look, guys, I don't know where this leaves us. But personally, I completely disagree. I think we need to hang on to nostalgia because nostalgia is the golden age of Canada. Nostalgia, that's the only memory I have of Canada being good. Yeah, we need to hang on to that. If better days were back then, we need to go back. And I love how the only people who don't care about driving this country deeper into the ground are the rich people and the powerful people who don't have to deal with it. See, this is the part that we often forget. We sit here and wonder, well, why doesn't the Prime Minister care about creating jobs? Well, the answer is very simple. Because the Prime Minister never has to worry about getting a job. The Prime Minister's kids never have to worry about getting a job. Nobody in his family will ever have to join the Canadian workforce. So why should it matter to him? They don't care about the economy because they have millions of dollars. They're rich. So if people can't afford to buy groceries, they genuinely don't care. They're eating well every day. If crime is on the rise, they don't have to ride the subway. They don't have to ride the public city bus. They're not concerned about it because they're not going to get stabbed by a crackhead trying to get on the TTC. Why should they care? They don't live in the same world we live in, and that's why they don't care about us. They view us as less than human. See, they're willing to give us conditions that they don't have to live in and let us handle it. You know how they say you make your bed, you got to lie in it? The Canadian government is making us a bed full of shit, but we have to lie in it, not them. And that's precisely why they don't care. Because they don't have to deal with anything that we have to deal with. They don't have to deal with mass immigration destroying employment opportunity. They don't have to deal with the fentanyl crisis. They don't have to deal with struggling to buy groceries. The only thing they have to deal with is acquiring more power and maintaining their positions. And that's exactly what we are seeing with Mark Carney. He's a despicable man. He's sickening. And he's the definition of a globalist puppet. So look, I'm not a religious man, but I want to be because I want to say a prayer for Canada. I really do. If I'm going to ever become religious, my friends, it'll be in 2026 because I'm going to need something to hang on to, chat. I'm going to need something. I'm going to need something to make this feel better. X says, exactly, Canada is screwed. I got a lot of Uber rides from Canadians that would love to move out here. Where are you at, X? Are you in America? So yeah, guys, I'm sort of in shock right now at everything we've seen. Hopefully things can start turning around. We'll be back live tomorrow with another stream. We're live every single day. So again, if you want to go join this movement against the globalists, against the mainstream media, against the propaganda, from a Canadian reporter who, by the way, is not controlled. Look, all these Canadian reporters are controlled. They're all government-funded media, even the people who act like they're independent. Let's blow this up so that we don't have to rely on them. Let's start this movement. Everybody in this chat, this is the movement. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We're going to keep breaking it down. We're going to keep going live. And God bless each and every one of you guys, man. That's really all I can say at the moment. I'm sending you guys well wishes, and I'm hoping that this year we can turn things around. And I will not rest until we start to see a change. I will not rest until something shifts. And every time I open my mouth, I will be trying to do my part. PD, that's a very fascinating point about the Chinese troops. Canada is definitely bought and sold by China. I think tomorrow we'll hop on and cover that. That's a really, really good story. Alberta actually had many of those pilots. So lots to look into. So yeah, guys, we'll catch you tomorrow. Make sure to hit that subscribe. Shout out to all the new people. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Peace.